G'day and welcome back to the channel. Now, something interesting here. I'm on the CAA YouTube channel and they've put some videos up in the past, some YouTube videos up. For example, here is fly your drone the right way. Consider others. It's a 1 minute long video. Another one, fly your drone, be responsible, and then keeping away from airports and so forth. And if you look carefully, 79 views, 250 views, 132 views. Not a runaway success in terms of YouTube viewership. Obviously, yeah, there are some issues. Some of the specific ones, like where they did German subtitles, 10 views, 9 views, 19 views. So here's one, 1.5 thousand views, 1,500 views for shielded operations. That's very popular because I know I pointed this video out to a lot of people around the world saying your regulators need to use the shielded operation rule. Here's a video that explains it. So I think mostly that video was watched out of curiosity by people who were interested in shielded operations. But as far as reaching locals, look, these just haven't done it. 79, we live in a country of 5 million people, and 79 people, some of them who will be from overseas, watched that video. Wasn't a good investment from CAA's perspective. I don't know how long it took to make that video, but certainly on a per capita basis, it would have cost probably hundreds of dollars per person in terms of the people who watched that to produce that video. Not a good result. So CAA obviously learned, YouTube videos, they're not for us. But this morning when I got up at 3:30, I found this. We've got some new videos on the CAA website. And here's something really interesting. Look at the length of these videos. 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. What does that say to you? What does that sort of indicate? Yeah, it indicates these are going to be ads on YouTube. They've given up trying to publish on their own channel and get people interested. They're going to force feed these out to people by sticking them up as pre-rolls or mid-rolls on YouTube videos. And to be honest, it's not a bad way to do it because, people have no option. They've got to watch them. They'll be unskippable because they're short enough. So people will have to watch these little pre-rolls or mid-rolls and hopefully learn from them. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at one of these things. What have we got? Where's a decent one? What's this one? Doesn't tell us. See, the labelling on these is not particularly clear, is it? Here we go. Don't fly over people without permission. Let's take a look at this video and see what we find. Okay, people wandering into New Zealand, coming across the border. Oh, hang on a minute. Just go back. I want to go back on that. Let's have a look. Because that transmitter looked very, very... Here we go. Look, it's a Tyrannus. And it doesn't... It's even got... Is it crossfire in the back? It's got a module in the back. So... Here we go. This is not just your camera drone people, is it? They're talking about mini quads here, obviously. This is someone set up to do mini quads with a crossfire. Okay, and let's keep watching, but there we go. That's a mini quad by the look of it. And, oh, this looks like it is that a Mavic? Oh, there's a Mavic doing pirouettes. Woohoo! But the mini quads have gone. Okay, so what did we learn from that? Well, actually not a hell of a lot. It basically, let's go back a bit further. If you fly a mini quad into a cardboard template, the top will fold down. There you go! Things you didn't need to know. But obviously the message is there, don't fly over people without permission. It's a sensible message. It's one that I always follow. I never fly, in fact, I never even fly near people without permission. I tend to fly in areas where there aren't any people. And that's the safest way to do it. I just keep away from people. It's so simple. A lot of people don't understand that. This is a really simple way of getting that across. I don't think it's actually as clear. It's too symbolic for my liking. But I find it interesting that they include mini quads and camera drones. Because in my experience, people who fly mini quads are far more aware of the rules than people who fly camera drones. All the people I fly with who fly mini quads, they all know the rules back to front. We need to, because we tend to be part of a hobby organisation, not loners with camera drones. People who have camera drones, they just use them as a camera. The Mavic and the Phantom. They just want to get some pictures or some video footage. They aren't interested in flying as such. People who fly mini quads, they like flying, so they know about the rules, they know about airspace, they know about that sort of stuff. But they've brought both of them into that ad. It's pretty, that's okay. I'm reasonably happy with that. And they've done shorter versions of these same ads. Here's a shorter one. Let's have a look at the shorter one. What does it have in it? It's just a little dippy bit. There you go. Fine. So you'll be watching those on YouTube because they will be pre-rolls and mid-rolls. I can bet your bottom dollar. And you have to ask, is that a reasonable use of the Civil Aviation's money? Because they don't have a lot of money right now. I mean, a lot of their money comes from levies on passenger travel, and there is no passenger travel to speak of coming in or out of New Zealand now because of the human malware situation. I mean, our borders are basically closed. So they're not getting a lot of the revenues that they'd have banked on. So I don't know how much this campaign would have cost. Obviously, this seems to have come, I don't know whether they did this internally. I don't know why they would have a video graphics artist internally, but maybe it's been done by an external bureau. And look at this. These are obviously not titled. These aren't for people to watch. Maybe it's just for purposes of having them signed off by someone, so they stuck them on YouTube, but they forgot to put them unlisted. I don't know. You don't. If you want a video to be found on YouTube, you don't call it CAA 00110605 final. No one's going to search for that. And is there a description? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this one. Does it have a description? I didn't bother to check. No description, but you can put a comment on it. There you go. So, yeah, the other thing is that this raises an important issue with the lack of funds. And I think the problem is that CAA is a bureaucracy. You can't blame them for that. They have to be a bureaucracy. That's the way the place is built. And bureaucracies tend to be very, very, what would you say, focused. I'll be polite and call it focused, but they tend to follow very, very strict lines called policies. You know, someone makes this policy rulebook and everyone has to follow the policies of the bureaucracy, and that means you can't be thinking outside the square. Thinking outside the square generally isn't encouraged in a bureaucracy because that might involve violating policies. So what's obviously happening here is someone said we need to address the issue of drone safety. We need to at least halve the death toll from recreational multi-rotor drones, which is pretty easy to do because half of 0 is 0. They're there already. But what they're probably thinking is we need to show that we're doing something. And there's no better way in a bureaucracy to show you're doing something than by spending money. Yep, spend money. That's the way you do it, because that's something that you can provide a bank statement that says, look, we are $50,000 safer because we spent $50,000 on YouTube mid-roll and pre-roll ads. That's how it will be measured. That's the metric for performance. Whereas in the real world, where you and I live, in the world of entrepreneurs, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I don't measure my performance by how much money I spend. I measure my performance by what results I achieve. So I don't care how I achieve my results. I measure my performance by those results. And in fact, as an entrepreneur, I try to spend the least amount of money I possibly can. But bureaucracies don't work that way. They don't work that way. If they'd spent nothing on drone safety, that would be a failure, because to the people further up the food chain who get the reports, you've spent nothing protecting the world from drones. You're terrible. Or you've spent $50,000. Woo, you've done a great job. No, CAA, if I was in charge of this sort of thing, promoting drone safety, the first thing I would have done is I would have gone to people like me, Mr. Safety, and said, look, can we work with you? Can you help us do this? Because we need to keep the skies safe. And I would have said, as I've always said, yep, no worries. I'm happy to do that. No charge. I want to keep the skies safe too, because if the hobby and drone users act safely, then everybody wins. Everybody wins. It's a benefit to everyone. And I'm all about promoting and protecting the hobby. And so why wouldn't I do all this stuff for free? I would have gladly run these little 6-second things at the end of all my videos just because it's a good thing to do. I wouldn't have charged them the money that YouTube is going to charge them. But that's the way they think. Measurement is by the amount of money you spend. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. CAA, I know you're watching this video because you watch all my videos in case I've made a mistake and got caught out. Please tell us. If I'm wrong, tell us. I'd love to interview someone from CAA, do a Zoom or something, or no, not Zoom, I hate Zoom, Streamlabs. Do an interview and ask them what are they thinking? What's going on inside their head when it comes to drone safety? How are they planning to improve the safety of the skies, slash that death toll from the recreational use of multi-rotor drones? I'd love to hear from them how they intend to do that. And then I would like to perhaps work with them to do that. My resources are their resources. Come on, let's go. It's all in the best interests of safety. So, yeah, but that doesn't seem to be in the policy book. Maybe it's because they don't want to be seen to be associating with someone who's under investigation. And now we're well into the 7th week of the 1-week investigation. So maybe they just want to distance themselves from me and they'd rather spend the money. I don't know. But there are a lot of other people like me who would also help CAA out. We'd be glad to help them out. And the other thing that it sort of makes me scratch my head a little bit is I keep a very close eye on the accident investigation reports that CAA publishes. When a manned aircraft has a crash, and especially if people die, there is an investigation report. And I read all of those because there's a lot of information there that's very informative. You need to know about this sort of stuff. I'm interested in aviation as well as model flying. And the one thing that stands out like a really sore thumb in all those accident or incident reports is low flying by manned aircraft. It is a hugely predominant factor in fatalities in this country in light aviation crashes and commercial crashes. Top dressers fly too low between jobs. Aircraft are doing silly things at low altitude and stall and crash into the ground. These things, low flying, below 500 feet, that is the real killer in New Zealand. It is a real killer of people. That's something that CAA should be really focused on. And so one of these videos here is, where is it? Don't, 4 kilometres, stay away, blah, 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 blah. Here we get this one here. Look, let's just watch this one. Don't fly over 100, always fly below 120 metres, right? Okay, so that's telling you drone flyers, you need to stay below 120 metres. Where is the video that you're going to run on YouTube ads that tells manned aviators to stay above 500 feet? Where is it? I don't see it. But flying below 500 feet is killing people every year in this country. Drones flying above 120 metres hasn't killed anybody anywhere in the world ever. So maybe you need to readjust your priorities and look at what is actually killing people, spend your meagre resources addressing those issues, and then everyone will be safer. I'm not saying people should fly drones above 120 metres, but I'm saying that so far, in the entire history of recreational multi-rotor drone operation, that has never resulted in even an injury, yet we're seeing people die every year when manned aviators fly below 500 feet without permission, without legal authority. That is where you should be spending your meagre resources. If you want to address this drone safety issue, come to me. Because if you build a relationship with the hobby, if you build a relationship with people like me, then you're far more likely to have your regulations respected, because people will follow the recommendations, the guidance, the regulations of organisations they respect. But if it's just a big, tall building in the capital city where people sit behind desks in suits, it doesn't engender a lot of sympathy, empathy, or compliance. So you need to have a more personal face. So CAA, give me a call. We'll organise a hookup. We'll do a meeting and we'll talk about it. And you can show what you're really trying to achieve here. You can put a face to the name, put a face to CAA. Come on, let's get it up on the YouTubes. I think that'll get a lot of views. I think that will endear CAA to a lot of people that might have otherwise said, just a bunch of bureaucrats. Here's the opportunity. Here's the invitation, CAA. If you really want to use your meagre resources properly, get someone with a smiley face to come on with me. We'll talk about it and we'll try and get the message across to everybody, and I'll promote it through my channels, and we'll probably get a lot more views than any of your videos have ever had or are ever likely to have. So there you go. There's my offer to CAA. Come on, let's get on board. Let's make the whole skies a safer place in which manned aviation can fly and which drones can fly. And remember, it says the bottom line, the finishing point of all these videos here is, wait for it, share the skies. No, wrong message, CAA. Drones and model aircraft, 400 feet and below. Manned aviation, 500 feet and above. No sharing. Separation, that's the key to safety. Separation is the key to safety, not mingling. We don't want pedestrians walking down the motorway. We want manned aviation 500 feet and above without exception. And if manned aviation come into below that, when they're not entitled to, ping them really hard. We want drones 120 metres and below. And if someone flies a drone above 120 metres, ping them hard. I'll be right behind you. I'll march them up the steps of the courthouse, because they shouldn't be flying that high. But you've also got to make sure that manned aviators get the same treatment when they come below 500 feet. If we do that, if there's 100 feet of vertical separation, there will never be an issue. Never be an issue. There you go. CAA, tell me what you think. If you're watching this video, go down there by my private parts and leave your comment, because I want to know what you think too. It's all important we get a dialogue going here and we get the word out. So that's it. Prepare for the onslaught. If you live in New Zealand, obviously these ads won't appear on US YouTube or anything, but if you live in New Zealand, get ready for the onslaught of mid-rolls and pre-rolls promoted by CAA. And the sad thing is they're getting into this now, obviously, because YouTube advertising is just dirt cheap. I've covered this in previous videos. You know, they're basically giving away the advertising so CAA can get a heap of advertising for next to nothing. But the problem is, if you look at the comments on my videos, more and more people are fitting ad blocking software. So fewer and fewer people are going to see these ads, because people have had a guts full of YouTube's exploitation of the platform for monetary gain, to the degree, the over-exploitation. Yeah, we don't mind a few ads, but not the level that they're ramping them up to now. There you go. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. You make it all possible. And I'm still waiting for the results of my investigation. 7 weeks after the 1 week investigation began. Bye for now.